Welcome, spiritual travellers. I'm Steve Bradshaw, aka the Brad Monk, and when I'm channeling, I connect to my soul of the past, who was a monk who travelled around sharing his spiritual journey, and so he helps me to find and connect to what I call the soul's inner voice, which is basically the universe that gives us wisdom, insights, connections, and frees me up to be able to help people on their journey. My mission is to connect and get every single one of you to experience this amazing world, what I call the world of enlightenment. On reflection, I have found that the more that I got connected, the more I don't want to attach to all that's going on and what's happening in the world. After being down the beach today, I realised that it's time for us all to put aside and become oneness and just enjoy the peace and the harmony that's available within ourselves and outside ourselves. And it's up to us now to spread this wonderful unconditional love to everybody. So for me, the more that I'm with nature, the more that I'm doing what I love to do, the more I'm enjoying life, I don't get so caught up. But the minute I look and I attach to the injustice and the Black Lives Matters and all these things, my whole life changes. And that is because we've all got within us a warrior. We've all got our own little fights for our own lives. We're all triggered. And this isolation has caused that. It's caused many of us to look within, to find out who we are, what we are. As the illusion starts to take away and the awakening starts to happen, we start to reflect on what we are doing, how we're going about, what we're trying to achieve, what way can we contribute to the world in this chaos. It is total chaos. And I think that I have been asking the spirit world about this, and the information that's coming back is that the more that we learn to share love, the more the body is feeling love, the more it's connected, the more then that which is no longer part of us is coming to the surface. And for a lot of people, that's insecurities, that's fears, that's anxieties, that's all the things that the body does no longer need. And so it seems that the more you get connected, the more then you're releasing and letting go, which is allowing the flow of the automatic flow, and so it's not such a bad thing, but I think we have been all so suppressed and so isolated. I mean, the lockdown has not just shown us what it would be like to not share in the experience with others, but I have been reflecting on all my memories, all the wonderful things and all the people that's been sharing on my journey. And maybe sometimes I've not appreciated how much of a contribution they all made to my life. And so I wanted to do this sort of little video at the moment just to say, go and find those people that have touched your lives and just say thank you. And if you can't get in touch with them, send them unconditional love. Send them peace if you don't particularly like them, But everyone has given you a part of your journey. And so everyone has helped you on your journey to evolve and become the most magical person that you are. So it's so important that you recognize this, that you understand. When I first started to awaken and when I first started to get connected, I had a dream. Was it a dream or a vision? I went through a tunnel and there was this beautiful place, and it was like what the Americans call a pond or a river or a stream, and in the middle was this lotus. And when I went and stood on the lotus, 3 wise men came and stood behind me, and then all these people came around, and when we all joined together, the energies became one and they went into the sky. And this is sometimes what I do to get connected. I go to my place I don't always, because I've been doing it for so long now. My place has evolved and there's many more things to it, with a tree and dolphins and going and sitting on top of a cliff and everything. But the most magical bit is that a lot of those people around that pond or that river or whatever you want to call it have contributed to my life. And so I know that there's a message in everybody. There's a message in everything around us. But we have to be in a position to see it sometimes. If we're so focused on the injustice and so focused on that which ignites us to become the warrior, and I'm not saying the warrior is bad, but what I'm saying to you is he leads to more negativity. It leads to attracting or seeing more negativity. And then sometimes I'm not just saying to yourself, get back to the love and peace. Get back to seeing the beauty in the people, that, you know, what their gift is to share with the world and what they can do for the world. And because in everybody, we have this energy. I call it the authentic self. But it's a neutral energy. So when everybody goes to me, oh, you know, you've got to raise your vibration. It's not actually. The purest form of energy within us all is a neutral energy. And so it's what we feed it, it becomes. And so that means, like with food and everything, it's what we feed, this energy, it becomes. And when you understand that, you change your whole mindset to what you're feeding. Life, yourself, your body, your mind, and everything. And when you find that you're balanced or at peace with yourself, then everything flows and everything falls into place. I mean, I had quite a few days, because I've been working so much on my connection this week. I had so many days where I felt joy and peace and harmony. And it only took a family member one day to change all that. Now, that family member could be releasing a lot of energy themselves and a lot of pain themselves. And so you have to recognize that, why you attracted it, what the situation is. But the first time in my life, I didn't get emotionally involved with it. I wasn't attached to it. It did affect me. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I know the person from the heart didn't mean anything by it and wasn't purposely trying to do anything. They were just worried about me. And so sometimes you've got to understand that people are in pain or they have their own journey. And so they have their own lessons to teach me. And I've learned a lot from it. And so no situation I do not regret in a lot of ways. So what I'm trying to say to you, try not to live in the past, but do recognize those memories that ignited you and made you feel alive. You know, when I was ill and I went through the tunnel and I came out the other side, I had glandular fever, which wasn't some, you know, disease, because you always see these people, I died and went to heaven. It wasn't that. I think at that time I became ill, and the abilities that my mother had, who was the seventh of the seventh, seemed to come to me in some sort of fashion, whether it was a passing of energy, because I've noticed I can do that. I work a lot with energy, and I can put energies into people's heads that makes them feel connected, and they even act like me in the psychic way, which is quite we did that with my friend, and it was amazing. The person was better than me because they had no restrictions and blocks, whereas I'd probably worry about doing readings of one to another, whereas she was just like automatic. I started reading a crystal ball, and she's never read a crystal ball. But putting that energy, so I know that when we get connected to all of us, to the world and everything, the amazing things that we can do or access or learn or enjoy or feel passionate about. And so I wonder why most of us spend all that time in the hurt and the pain and looking to fight. And I mean, there is a time and a place for fighting, and there's a time and a place for healing and hating and being sad, because these are all letting go of stuff. But when you have to look, remember, most of it's your perception. Most of it is what you are putting, what energies you're putting out there, is being reflected to you from other people. What energies you put within inside you is expanding and becoming and learning your lesson. And I've been trying all sorts of diets this week to to wonder why. And then they showed me that my connection, and because I was getting energy from the source and energy from the sun and different things I was working on, that food became quite relevant to me in the state that when I ate it, it didn't feel right anymore. I didn't feel, and I was starting to store it. And I was wondering, why am I storing it? And then it realized because I was getting the source energy, I didn't need certain foods all the time. I mean, yes, what feeds my body, and now I'm looking into cell regeneration and healing the cells and one thing another to learn from, because we're always evolving. And so I'm not saying, stop eating. It's not that. But it's what you feed. Because I even noticed an article that I was looking at, that you can love food, but if you eat too much of what you love as well, can cause the body to cause an imbalance in the body. And so the body then rejects what you love, which is, your body is so amazing and the things it can do. And my being frightened as a kid of not being the right weight to be football, because I wanted to be a professional footballer when I was younger, really did bring about this really, and I created it in the end. I mean, it was after the age of about 44, so I can't say, but I did have spells where I put weight on and one thing and another, because, and even my first session that I went to do pro football, pre-season training with the club, I was 12 stone and I trained so hard, to get fit, and it nearly devastated me because the coach just turned around and went, yeah, you're half a stone overweight. And I was like, and this was like 3 days into training, and these were ex-professionals, or professionals at the time, I should say, and I know in my heart I'd caught them up, and I'd even started to go further than them. I said to him, well, am I fastest here? He went, yes. Am I the fittest here? He went, yes. It's incredible how in 3 days you've caught them all up. And I thought, so why are you going on about my weight? And it was really funny because a lot of my times in life, I've always get information 6 months to years before. And it was funny because at that time, a year later, there was a lot more heavier footballers, because they'd learned that if they built the muscles in the legs, which I did, they could be faster, they could run just as fast backwards. I built myself in a way that was perfect for football. But because, like we have in society, we're all conditioned that but I was always looking outside the box. I was always trying to better myself or evolve or adapt or whatever. And so I built my legs up so much that it made me able to take the tackles and also to be able to run a lot quicker and sharper and everything like that. And so, but that deep-rooted, which I've now found was in past life and childhood and everything, of not being good enough and this, that and the other when I was, is a vibration. And so I'm not going to lose the weight until I change that vibration, and I'm not going to understand why I'm storing the food until I sort out. And so I know this sounds strange, but being overweight has taught me and has made me realise what I've created. And so when you realise what you create, you can uncreate it. And so once you've found the balance of the foods you like and what it is that makes you flow in the energy flow, I'm starting to now listen to my body, to what it wants. And all of a sudden, the weight is coming off. And, there's so many fads out there, and 4 or 5 times in my life, I have lost the weight. So I know I can do it, but when you get to the age of 50, obviously it's a little bit harder, and you've got to find a different way to do it. What I used to do is just go mad into training and eat fruits and vegetables, which ended up rotting my teeth and causing me major problems with my body. Do you know what I mean? Sort of thing. And I've got quite a few areas that through my ankles and my knees and everything, and one thing or other, because nowadays we were told what to eat and everything like that, and it wasn't, and like everything in life, it changes. So what I'm trying to say is, on reflection, I just want you to go and enjoy life. Just go and find your journey, find what makes you happy, And don't worry what other people say. Find what makes you tick, and life will become a lot easier. And I know it's a struggling time with money and finances, but there must be a bigger picture to why this is happening. Why have it's all been created? And we can go down the conspiracy theories, but spirits are just telling me, wait and see. We're all changing, and those who'll change will come with us, and those who won't will find their own torments in life to deal with. And maybe we're all to help each other on this journey, whether in pain or not in pain, or whether we're spiritual or not spiritual. Who knows? Who cares? We're all one energy. We're all here to learn. We're all here to share. We're all here to receive, and sometimes we forget that. So on reflection, unconditional love neutralizes negativity, but negativity brings the balance. And so there is nothing without goodness coming out of it. Okay.
Reflection. A moment we truly see the reflection of ourselves is when we understand our journey. For many seek to find themselves, and it is only in reflection do we see that we were there all along. Your hope and dreams are only stepping stones, guiding you to yourself. The soul is not just an aspect but a reflection of your experience, guiding you to a better you that already exists within you. Waiting for that awakening when you truly accept yourself and allow love and peace to be your life. It is then we truly see the true reflection of who we are.
Yes.